welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore, and we have a power-packed show lined up for you over the next 20 minutes.
And I'm Krishna Kumar, coming to you live from ET Now's Mumbai studios. First up, a check on all the headlines here at ET Now Startup Central. Fresh after raising a new $1.2 billion global fund, Norwest Venture Partners talks about where they will invest the money in India. A chat with NVP's Mohan Kumar coming up. Quikr, a unicorn in the classified space, has completed the integration of Common Floor but is mum on the painful issue of layoffs. We get you an exclusive chat with the company's COO, Atul Tewari. 14 Indian origin investors feature in a list of the top 100 venture capitalists in the world. Who is sitting on a huge cash pile? We'll tell you that in a special report. On our special segment, Next Big Star, we tell you about e-commerce logistics provider Delivery and its next big bets. And on our weekly special, The Book That Changed My Life, Dave McClure of 500 Startups shares his book picks for entrepreneurs.
Krishna, we have a top venture capitalist to really kick off the show today, Norwest Venture Partners, which remember recently raised $1.2 billion for its new global fund. Now we caught up with the NVP's director here in India, Mohan Kumar, to really find out how much of that money is going to come to Indian startups and the theme that Norwest is betting on going forward. We also asked him about the consolidation theme playing out in the macro environment and also the current environment with respect to valuations. Let's listen in.
In India, we invest in like two areas, early stage and late stage growth. In early stage, we focus on technology as a key component. Technology includes software and mobile and medtech technologies. Then we do consumer internet, which are anything consumer facing. That's the second area. And third is healthcare. The three areas where you see primarily our early stage investments. When you say early stage, it's not like seed. We come anywhere from Series A to C, A, B, C. So anywhere from $5 million at the minimum and going up to about $30 million in Series C for a 2-3 year periods. That's our sweet spot, okay? And that's where we'll invest.
But talking about consumer internet, are you looking at that now because valuations will be more reasonable compared to where they were last year? And any segments within consumer internet that interest you?
Okay, so no industry is static, right? So as you say, we go into next stage, there is still an opportunity of new business models, new areas coming in the consumer internet. Okay, that's where you'll focus on, okay?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And in terms of valuations, is it better now compared to what we saw?
I think for companies which have raised money at a high valuation, right? I think it's a different, okay, because they have to continuously raise money to grow the company. But if you look at early stage, right, Series A, B, or C, I think the market is a little tempering down. Okay, so people are not trying to raise Series A companies, not trying to raise Series C.
Everybody is also talking about consolidation, and but there is again thought that perhaps India will be a different market. It can have room for multiple players. Do you buy into that, or again, is it going to be a winner takes it all market? I mean, now there is speculation that perhaps Flipkart was in talks with Amazon for a sale. So do you think the winner takes it all logic applies to India as well, in that sense, that there cannot be multiple winners in this space?
I think you can only forecast because if you ask everyone will have a different view, right? And that's mostly personal, individual view where he came from. What I can talk is what I think, okay? And India, I don't think it's be a winner take all, one person, one company taking, let's say, the horizontal e-commerce, okay? Or the homestay, okay? Or the airline, okay?
And what advice are you giving your own portfolio companies to, navigate the current environment? There's certainly an air of caution, more focus on unit economics.
We have, as I said, right, we have technology companies, SaaS, software, mobility, and consumer internet. The advice we give is different for each category. Okay? So for the consumer internet side, we say, look, make sure your business model works, which means if you're doing something today, in next 12 to 18 months, you have a model by which you can actually make money. Okay? And spend what you can. If you have a runway of 18 months, okay, make sure your money lasts till you come to that break-even period.
Right.
Okay, that's what we advise our consumer internet.
On to the other big story that we're tracking over here. 14 investors with Indian roots have made it to the top 100 list of global venture capitalists. The list compiled by business research firm CB Insights after evaluating the investors on the basis of their investment since 2008. Samir Gandhi of Axel Partners was the highest at rank 25, the top-ranked Indian venture capitalist. He was closely followed by Pramod Haq of Norwest Venture Partners, who was ranked at 32. Salil Deshpande of Bain Capital Ventures was the third Indian to feature in the list. He was ranked 35th. Naveen Chadda, who heads Mayfield Fund and invests in consumer enterprise infrastructure and energy technology in the US and India and China, was ranked 45th. At 47th rank was Ashim Chandna of Greylock Partners. Deven Parikh, the managing director of Insight Venture Partners, was ranked 52 in the list. Parikh manages investments in e-commerce, consumer internet data and application software businesses on a global basis. He was also nominated to the board of directors of the Overseas Private Investment Corporation in 2014 by Barack Obama. Jay Das, the managing director at Sapphire Ventures, ranks 59th in the list. And at the 67th rank was Hemant Taneja, the managing director of General Catalyst Partners. Neeraj Agrawal, general partner at Battery Ventures, is ranked 68th in the list. Battery Ventures is a venture capital firm that invests in cutting-edge, category-defining businesses. And finally, Krishna Kuluri of New Enterprise Associates, ranked 73rd in that list. So those are the top money men, Chandra. Quite a few Indians as well as part of that list.
Right, Krishna. Just hope you're investing more and more into Indian startups going forward. But moving on, we have a billion-dollar baby on the show today. We are talking about classifieds space unicorn Quikr, and its COO Atul Tewari spoke to Rahul about the integration with Common Flow, but he was mum when it came to the subject of layoffs. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Customer feedback becomes an important way to actually figure out what's working, what's not working. So like I myself take at least an hour to in a day to look at what are the complaints which are coming on customer service channel, because that at times is a very honest feedback of as to what's happening.
When the acquisition happened, we were told that Common Flow will be a separate entity. In terms of backend and technology, utilizing technology resources, what's happening?
We have integrated pretty much the entire Common Flow into our scheme of things, and the technology people that we had, not only they got absorbed in the Quikr Homes vertical, but they have also got absorbed in some of the other verticals that we had. So we had always maintained that we were looking at also as a good talent acquisition pool which are available, and so other verticals have also benefited through this acquisition.
All right. Also, in terms of challenges, because there's a lot of data involved, you're aware about as far as consumer habits are concerned. What are you doing to ensure that data is protected and consumers out there are assured that the data is protected?
So we have a fairly strong technology team, and we have got standard procedures which are pretty much what they are available as far as the industry standards are concerned, and we keep on implementing them or keep on upgrading them as per the needs are, and they are led by our CTO. And he's ultimately responsible to ensure that the security is never breached as far as the company is concerned.
All right. And going forward, a few focus areas for you, which are the areas that for me as a consumer, if I were to come down on the website, what changes will I see in the coming few months?
So we have Quikr Homes, Quikr Cars, Quikr Services, Quikr Jobs, and we recently launched a Quikr Doorstep, which was last week. So these are the 5 important focus areas for us as we are moving forward.
Moving on, technology is the core of the operations for many startups, and today on the show we have the men who work behind the scenes and drive consumer experience by maintaining tech for their companies. We're talking about Urban Ladder and Big Basket, both leaders in their own space. Apurva Dala, CTO of Urban Ladder, and Pramod Jaju, CTO of Big Basket, spoke to ET Now's Rahul again on managing consumer data, adding new features, and the app versus website debate. Listen to that conversation.
looking at the customer feedback, we've launched an express service.
That's right.
So essentially 60-minute delivery for core products, and getting that experience right in terms of the whole process of how do I present the products to you, clarity as to what I'm going to get when, right, and let the user make that choice, right, was extremely important. We spent a lot of time and energy, thinking through that stuff. Talking about personalization is a very key thing. We do a lot of personalization already today in terms of things like Smart Basket, where we already call out most frequently bought thing with a data algorithm.
Next few months, what are the interesting features launches that you have lined up in terms of the technology?
So a lot of things happening around our storefront, website and the app around that. A lot of things around visualization. We do believe visualization is going to be a differentiator for us. So a lot of investment around AR, VR, 3D modeling, image handling, etc. is happening. And third one, like I talked earlier, I think we do want to take personalization to a whole new level. So I think some of the basic algorithms around personalization are already built, but we want to apply the home decor flavor on top of it to say that, okay, because I know that you like this particular, type of sofa, you may like this particular type of chair, right? That kind of, I think those are the investments we are making. And then of course a lot of work around analytics. We do believe that analytics is the way to drive personalizations. We're doing a lot of things around analytics.
We shop for grocery much more often than we would visit Urban Ladder. So what do you have lined up for us in terms of launches?
We continue to invest in the technology component, and given that also on the back end stuff, grocery is a very fragmented category from a supply chain perspective. And so we do a lot of things to make sure that the products are in stock, the inventories are managed properly, right? So a lot of things which go underneath the cover that obviously eventually benefits the customer experience.
Lastly, there's this entire talk about the war, the app-only strategy and the website. While Myntra has backtracked, so has Flipkart. What are your views? I'm sure mobile drives traffic, but in terms of traffic that you're receiving from mobile and website breaking down, and where do you see this heading? Is being on every platform the best way to go forward?
So we have a simple mantra here. We want to be wherever the customer is. So right now, if you look at Urban Ladder, we have a beautiful, desktop web experience.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful, mobile-only experience on the web.
Yeah.
And we, of course, have invested heavily in, not only the catalog applications around iOS and Android, but we're also doing our specialty apps on the mobile phone, right? So I think we have a slightly different view, that we think that, of course, India being, mobile first country, there's a lot of traffic that we get on mobile, but we don't want to ever kind of limit our customers to only think to find us on mobile only.
We think that desktop website is a very, very important component, and clearly the mobile is where a lot of customers are going on the go. So we see a lot of our customers complete the shopping journey using both platforms. Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, there is a lot more penetration of smartphone, because people don't have PCs at workplace as much, and then they don't have PCs at home, right? So we see upwards of 70-80% traffic from those areas coming on app only, right? So the app is clearly super important, and we focus a lot of energies on that.
Krishna, it's certainly raining next big stars on the show today, because after Big Basket, Urban Ladder, we now have Delivery, which is, remember, an e-commerce logistics player, talking to us about the goals that they've charted over the next year, and also how they plan to crack the unit economics code as far as the hyper-local space is concerned. We caught up with Delivery's co-founder and Chief Strategy Officer, Mohan Kumar. Let's listen in.
I think that overall, the industry has seen a very healthy growth over the last 3 years, and we see that growth to continue. And obviously, we being a part of that industry, will do our best to basically increase the footprint of e-commerce across the country. The goal for us is basically for next year is to expand our reach to at least 6,000 plus pin codes across India, offer multiple types of services to e-commerce companies as opposed to just a plain vanilla express delivery company. We have a surface slow transportation, regular shipping, same day, next day delivery options, hyperlocal, 2 to 4 hour deliveries, And then we have also started international cross-border e-commerce logistics as well.
Based on your learnings in this market, will you look at tapping into other markets as well, overseas, maybe, other developing economies?
We've actually been looking at a few developing markets, so Middle East being one of them, and then some of the markets within Southeast Asia are the two markets which are similar to where India was 3 or 4 years. So Middle East is one, I'm saying, and then Indonesia is the other, Vietnam then after that. Fundamentally, logistics is a very local business, right? So if you look at India also, right, that local companies have been able to do well, and not the global players have not been able to compete very well, because it's a very people-driven industry, right? How we are thinking about it is basically we are looking at how can the local logistics companies in those markets can leverage our technology and our engineering expertise to grow faster and to help scale up the market over there.
Mohan, also in the current market, will you be looking for more funding going forward to fund all your plans? Because you mentioned different kinds of logistics play within delivery. To sort of fund all that, are you well capitalized at this point?
See, yeah, as of now we are well capitalized, and we are a gross margin positive business, so we don't burn a lot of money. All our basically whatever investment that we are making is mainly into expenditure into creating long-term technology solutions, routing systems, data analytics, automation within our facilities.
More competition from some of the new age logistics startups, or from traditional players like Blue Dart and Gandhi?
I think it'll be interesting. All competition should be taken seriously. So we don't take any of the competition lightly. It won't be fair to me to say that one is a bigger threat than the other. The hyperlocal startup is still very early stage for them. I don't know how the unit economics or the business model would work for them when they do e-commerce and when they do pan-India e-commerce.
All right, if you're looking to pick up your next book or get it delivered by delivery or something, here is a recommendation coming in from one of the most prolific startup investors from Silicon Valley, Dave McClure, the founder of the Startup Accelerator 500 Startups, who has invested in over 25 startups in India over the last few years. Here is him telling us the books that he goes by. Take a look.
I think there's a book called Spent that by Jeffrey Miller that's about behavioral psychology and how that applies to marketing. There's a book called Influence, Psychology of Persuasion by Cialdini that I think is also a good book. Maybe another one, Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug is a good book.
Certainly going to add that to my bucket list, Krishna. But coming to our final segment, Number Crunch. Number we are crunching for you today is 87. That's the total number of sixes that Chris Gayle has hit in T20s. Considering the T20 World Cup is on, we're going to bombard you with statistics as far as T20 is concerned. But 87, that's quite a number, Krishna. Chris Gayle in recent months has been making news for his activities off the field, but I guess his records on the field are very impressive as well.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why the off-the-field controversies doesn't do much to a guy like him. Also keep in mind, he is the highest as far as the number of sixes are concerned in T20 World Cups as well. 43 sixes that Chris Gayle has hit. That's the highest by any batsman in T20 World Cup since 2007. So the reason we're talking about it because England will face off against West Indies tonight, and Chris Gayle will be batting. So I can't wait to wrap things up here on 18 of Startup Central and get set to watch the match. But you keep watching 18 now. Coming up next is Market Watch.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.